Welcome back to the STAKK YouTube channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Oh, yes, sir. Double O in the East House.
Hey man, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you first of all for taking the time to click on this video. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit unconventional. The thing is, in the stock market, right, or well, investing. Wow, we selected an interesting background. That is Doge on the 1 minute chart, by the way. The thing is, in the stock market or in just investing in general, right? You always have these people online, and everyone is like, "I won here. I made this. I 3x, I 20x, whatever the case might be." But the reality is, man, there's also a lot of losses, and a lot of people don't talk about their losses. So in this video, what we decided to do here is to just share some of our stories of our biggest losses, right? Some of the ones that we remember the most. I have written down here a list of some of the ones that I thought were really worthy, and we're just gonna run through them. Double O, what do you think?
Let's do it, boss.
Hey man, these are some of our biggest losses. We don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. Even the hedge funds get wrecked every now and then. Look at GameStop situation, right?
Yo.
For me, wow. We're gonna be watching that Dogecoin candle in the background.
No,
while this
please
happens.
zoom in a little bit. I got lots of money on that.
I know. That's interesting. Now, here's the thing. My first biggest loss, right? As I took on investing and all that good stuff, the biggest one for me. Well, I'll never say that's the biggest one, because the biggest one for me was really some option stuff and Tesla. NIO is the first one I'm gonna go with, right? When I first found out about NIO, when did we find out about NIO? I think it was like $10 or something like that when I started messing with it.
No, I found that at $3.
$3.
Actually, I found that at 60 cents.
Oh wow.
But I did not get into $3 and $6.
Yeah, so I started getting to NIO around $9-10.
Yeah,
And,
you were fighting against it so bad.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, here's the thing. Because back in the day, and I think, and it's interesting because at the end of this, you're still gonna see I'm still in this position where I don't want Chinese stocks, man. I was kind of toying with this idea of buying Chinese stocks and things like that. But nonetheless, I got into NIO and I kept selling it. Right. Then we started doing options trading, and it was great. We had a great setup for NIO. Every morning we got into NIO with options. Easy money, right? And we're doing this continuously for a while. Everything was going great. We're feeling like experts, right? We're getting comfortable and all of that stuff. Until one morning.
We were literally en route to making like $10,000.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Week.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. We were hammering down on it. And we kept rising up until one day when we learned about a guy named Andrew Left. Let me tell you what happened.
Mr. Left.
So on this faithful day, I don't remember what it was, Monday, Tuesday, whatever the day was, right?
Yep.
We got up, usual setup, got into NIO, right? And it started, things are going as usual. Crosses VWAP, retest VWAP, we get into the trade,
Yep.
right? Things are moving the way it should. Now we're watching our fibs to find our exit points. And at one point, the interesting thing is I was on Zoom with Kenny at this point when we were doing this, right? And there was this one red candle. For those who are not familiar, there's this pattern called three black crows. This is when you have a big ass red candle followed by another big ass red candle and a third big ass red candle. I mean, when that happens, it's game over. So everything was going well. Then this one big red candle showed up. And the weird thing is, like, I could feel it, man. Right? And I was like, maybe I should get out of the trade right now. But it had not hit our target point. And I was like, it's probably going to come back, right?
It was going for the all-time high. It was predicted to be going for $70-something at the time.
Exactly. And at that point in time, it was like, I should have gotten out. We talked about it, but before we could finish that thought, man, the next big red candle showed up. And the next big red candle showed up. At this point, this would be a great point to cut your losses and move on. But what do we do?
Let's watch and see if it recovers.
Yeah, we started coming up with theories, man. We're like,
emotions, man.
It's probably going to come back. It's probably going to... Dude, NIO never came back, right? And remember, at the beginning of this, I said we found out about a guy named Andrew Left. Andrew Left is a notorious short seller. And this guy went on Twitter and he made a tweet essentially destroying NIO, saying, this thing's worthless and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably after that, him and his friends sold or
Going down
something.
to $20. Yeah.
Exactly. And that loss, man, for some reason, that one has stuck in my mind. That was a rough one. But that was my first
We
one.
both paid for it too, man. And it actually happens to be the day that we decided to double up on our contracts. So
This is true. It did not go well. So
Yeah.
that was my biggest loss. What would you say was one of your biggest loss?
biggest, man, we're just gonna jump straight to the biggest one.
I mean, well, what do you
man.
have on your list? What is the first one you have on your list? There we go.
Okay, the first one I have on my list is AMC, BlackBerry, and Nokia.
That was a rough time. Tell us.
So you and I, as usual,
Yeah.
this is like November last year. We were doing research into all the stocks, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's that rumor out there about Nokia is about to make a big comeback. So we bought Nokia like at $3. We bought a bunch of Nokia and we did some leap year contract on Nokia. And then we thought, AMC, this is COVID. AMC is gonna come back. Let's buy some AMC.
Right.
So we got some contracts on AMC. We bought AMC. And then BlackBerry, because I was working for the federal government and I knew the federal government was still using a lot of BlackBerry. I still believed in BlackBerry. So we bucked up on BlackBerry. Ooh-wee. Here comes the Wall Street bet folks and freaking Robin Hood and oh my god.
Dude, that situation was tough.
Couldn't
was tough.
exit my positions. I
Well,
was
you couldn't-
rich in one day.
You couldn't
I was
even,
super
you couldn't
rich in
even
one
exit,
day.
dude. You couldn't even exit because
No.
everything just kept getting halted.
Everything was, oh,
Yeah.
man, that
It
was
was
a
a
lot of
tough-
money.
I remember that morning, man. I walked up to my computer and I saw, I looked at the balance and I was like, something is off, right? The digits are definitely have definitely added up, and I was sitting there. I was like, oh wait. This option trades are definitely wilding out right now, And dude, I was like, I cannot wait for the market to open. I will collect profits, dude. And once the market opens, man, how did that go for you?
I can laugh about it now, but that's a lot of money to see just get stalled and you can't get out of it.
Yeah, that one was a
Oh,
horrible
God.
loss. That was a massive loss there. But other than that one, though, I think one of the bigger losses for me, and this one was all my doing. This one was straight up I don't want to say my stupidity, but it was my ignorance at the time. I should have known better, right? But I was also learning during this time. You see, paper trading is encouraged, right? It asks people to paper trade
Yep.
before using real money. However, for me, I felt like, I tried paper trading, but I just felt like it was not the same, right? You just have to, at some point, right? No matter what you do, no matter how much paper trading you do, at some point you have to jump in there and actually get it done. Right.
You gotta make that big step, man.
Exactly.
Just step into the ocean.
Exactly. So I had started options trading at this point in time, and I bought some positions. I bought some calls, and the calls were going okay. But at some point, it started going back into the negative, and then of course you have percentage loss, which is a horrible thing. And
Huge difference between stock market and crypto.
exactly. Now here are the things. I could have averaged down, but at that point in time, it was not something that I was thinking about. Instead of averaging down, I was like, hey, if this is going back, to the downside, I could just buy some puts to the downside to hedge against the call. To hedge against the call, right? So I purchased some puts to the downside. And, the stock kept falling. Then it started rising. Now, what happens is now you get caught up in this middle situation where you're not winning to the upside or to the downside.
God.
So I started buying calls in between the two calls and puts that I had. And now I had like 4 puts, dude, and like 3 calls. And I'm like, well, when this one turns green, it ended up
I will sell
horrible,
this
dude.
one.
Dude,
I remember that day too.
You saw that, right? I shared my screen
and
with
then
you.
and then you forgot to sell one of the puts
Yeah, I forgot to sell
because
one
you
of the
just had too much.
Dude,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
too much. It was a lot, and that was the path to blowing up my account, dude. That was the path to blowing up my account. I blew up my account there, and
I think you blew your account up like 3 times. We should probably talk about that.
yes. So
and how that happened.
dude, I blew up my Robinhood account. I blew up Robinhood account because I think I just got too confident, right? The NIO situation also happened in Robinhood. I also blew up my Robinhood account, in Robinhood because I was buying weeklies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was one point where I got too confident. I bought a bunch of weeklies. They all started going bad. I did some debit spreads, and they all started going bad. And I think one of the biggest things was that I was not cutting my losses, right? I was kind of always waiting for this time when it's gonna turn back
To
around.
turn around.
And with options, there's no turnaround, man. You either average down aggressively, which again I also advise against that, unless you really know what you're doing. But I think the most important thing is to know when to cut your losses, right? So I blew up my Robinhood account there. What other one was there? Well, I blew up Robinhood twice. Then there was the other one, which was where I did all the hedging, and that also went to crap.
What are one of the things that made your account go the opposite direction that most people don't pay attention to?
I think, for one, right, you just have to. I think one of the biggest things is the FUD, is the news, right?
Yep.
Because one day, right, there is all this optimism. There's job reports are good. There is no inflation coming, right? And then you go to sleep and you wake up the next day and it's like, hey, we're going to hell right now. Everything is going down the drain, right? And that definitely affected things. So just market fluctuations, man, and really paying attention to that is something that is, if I was better at that time, it would have definitely helped the situation there.
Yep.
But that was a massive loss. Blew up my account 3 times. That was a very expensive lessons, man.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of money doing
investing.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I will run through like 3 or 4 of them real quick.
Okay.
GoPro IPO. I got in on the GoPro IPO because I got in on the Facebook IPO. It went crashing down. I held on for it. I think I sold a little too early at $99. I should have held on all the way to $300.
Right.
But I did go for the GoPro IPO, and I was left holding the bag for like several years. I just recently sold it for a loss. I think last year.
Yeah.
Twitter IPO, I was in that one too, and I literally sold it at $55, like recovering back to the IPO price, and I sold it. The next thing you know, Twitter is going up to like $75, $100. So yeah, I would consider those early profits, not full losses, but GoPro sucks.
Yeah.
One that really stings me till today is my 100 shares of Amazon. I sold that sucker for a loss at $55 when I was in grad school and I was broke as heck. That was 100 shares of Amazon, 2000 and something.
Yeah.
Jeez, that sucks. That still stings.
It's okay.
I had Facebook, I had Microsoft, Cisco, TD Ameritrade, Apple.
Yeah.
Sold all that sucker. If I have held on to them till today, woo-wee,
man,
those would be good.
How does that make you feel, man? Tell us. See, I've jumped into the therapist position. Go ahead.
At the time, you feel horrible. Like, you feel bad.
Right.
Like, I still feel bad now, but I just feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge over time. Because if I would have spent that same money on something else, but I've seen an opportunity for that money to go up and go down, and that's my money working for me. So I used to feel really bad. I have a lot more bad stories, man. I will give you some more details on those shortly. But scam money don't make no money. So I've built that mindset that, okay, shit happens, if I can say shit. So
said it now.
It happens, and then when it goes up,
Yeah.
it's a blessing. Like, yep, that's basically your money. Your money goes to war, and some of them don't come back alive. They just die.
What
they get eaten by sharks or by whales.
Yeah.
And they don't come back, and then they bring back more armies.
Yeah.
So that's basically what's going on. One that happened recently was the spy day trades. I think I told you about that.
Yeah. I was actually at your place. I was actually at your place when that was going down, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I screwed up $4,000 in one flash.
Yeah, we were contemplating that one. And I was saying that like, should I tell him to average down? But if I tell him to average down, that is more money down the drain if it does not work out. And I was just like, hey man, you need to make a decision.
and then I was like, let's go ahead and leave it till Friday. It's a Friday, maybe it will come back on Monday. Came back Monday. That thing was tank it. The
Didn't
funny
work
thing
out.
is the freaking SPY flipped the opposite direction the next day as soon as the contract expired, which
Yeah,
that was dumb.
that seems to happen all the
Um,
time.
yep. And then another one that happened recently was Apple. Oh, Apple earnings are coming out. The earnings came out.
Right.
Everything was great.
Right.
But the stock itself tanked. Oh my god, $4,000
I
again.
remember that. You had
You
some
know, we
option
had
calls on that.
Apple, we had Lee models,
Yeah.
we have Riots.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I would say, man, I'm doing great on. I've performed better on Riot stocks than I have with the options, man. So I'm staying away from options. I'm good, man. Crypto is covering that situation for me. You know what I mean? That's just where it's at for me.
I still have a couple of lip calls that I'm still holding on to that I want to exit out of by the end of this year.
Okay.
And I think I did a lot of that at the beginning of this year.
Right.
When ARK was doing super well. This is before we learned about the cycles and learning about the better entry points and using the moving averages to figure out when to enter a trade.
Yeah.
Remember, I went into my 401k and my Roth IRA account and I was like, yeah, let's make some big movements. It's moving too slow.
Oh my.
Then I went ahead and I started switching everything to ARK Invest. I did some calls on ARK. I did some calls on Microvision. Oh my god!
Hey.
Let's just say I lost 175k in the process of going super aggressive on my Roth account.
I think
It's still recovering.
I think
I came back $5,000 this week.
Look at that, man. Can I suggest averaging down, sir?
I have no money to harass. Oh man!
Hey, no,
that was just crying right now.
That was a rough one, but here's the thing, though. I think obviously once we got into crypto, right? I feel like crypto and the volatility in crypto kind of trained us emotionally to be used to seeing red all the time and expecting, and just how much losses we've made. I feel like we've built some calluses emotionally to deal with watching things go negative, right? For you, because ultimately, some of the amounts we've lost are massive, especially for you as well. And it's like, how do you feel about, like, how do you deal with it emotionally? Like, how do you get yourself to say, hey, man, I know that things did not go great then, but I'm going to keep going.
Because I've been there before. Because remember I told you 2000, 2010, 2007. I was big into penny stocks. Penny stocks was making me money. I was a student then. I was putting money into penny stocks. And then there was this BKMP and this other company back then that was supposed to be the freaking the company that's going to be behind the UFC now that everybody's watching. Supposed to be the channel that's supposed to. This was way before UFC was UFC back then. We knew we were like in the underground, and the rumor was BKMP was going to be the one publishing UFC fights and all that. Well, anyway, long story short. I took all my money, right? All the gains that I've made in all the different penny stocks, put it all into BKMP and one other one, I can't remember the name, $7,000. Boom. BKMP just went down to the zero.
Got rock pools there. Oh. That's why they say don't put your eggs in one basket, Abby.
Never put your egg in one basket.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Now, here's the last one for me, right? Obviously, margin trading, it's something that you really want to be careful with it. You really want to tiptoe around that one. And as a matter of fact, if you ask me, I would say don't do it. If you can afford not to, do not do it at all. Anyway, we decided to do some margin, right? Or at least, And I bought a bunch of Tesla with margin on one of my accounts. This was on TOS, right? Because I have some Tesla in my Roth IRA as well. That one is just chilling. But then I was like, Tesla is about to make a move right now. I'm gonna make this move. It's gonna happen. I was confident about it, so I engaged in the margin sphere and I bought a bunch of Tesla. And I'm not sure what happened, dude. But I was just going about my day one day. I was working, and I got a notification on my phone. Right, I got a notification on my phone, and it said, He said you sold X amount of Tesla. I don't remember how much it was. Because that's the thing, dude. They didn't sell all of it at once. Yeah. So it said you sold some Tesla, and I was like,
no,
okay,
that wasn't me.
I don't think that was me, but what the hell, So I pull up my phone and I'm looking at my Tesla shares, and I saw I was down Tesla shares, but I still had Tesla. So I'm like, this is unusual. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to my computer and check this out, dude. By the time I got to my computer, I got 2 more notifications. Not 3. 2 more notifications saying I sold more Tesla. And I was like, what the heck? So I opened up TOS on my computer, and it's just like red everywhere, margin call warnings, all the crazy stuff, man. And I had to like add money to it real quick to kind of stop the bleeding, all that stuff. It was just a bad idea. It was a horrible idea. I shouldn't have done it, thinking back on it. But, it's the experience. And after that, it's like you just have to learn from those experiences and move on. These are just, it's just the reality. It's really all this is for. It's just the truth about some things that will happen.
Invest in.
Right.
Yep. But I have to say though, it's been super awesome with crypto though. We've been doing much better with crypto.
Crypto has been a beast. Here's the thing. Our technical analysis, when we started doing technical analysis on crypto versus what we're doing on stocks, right? Before the institutions really started rolling into it, when you do your TA, it's literally moving textbook style. And that's been amazing. And I would say, maybe I don't know, you can tell me if you agree with me on this, but we'll probably recover it most, and we'll probably recover and make more in crypto than with stocks in general, like in the time period that we've been messing with stocks and crypto.
Yeah, if you compare the amount of money we put into stocks versus the amount of money we put into crypto,
and the returns.
Crypto has been super outperforming stocks.
Absolutely.
Like, as you can see, Dogecoin doing its magic right now. We called Dogecoin, earlier this week, Monday, that it was going to do exactly what it's doing right now, based on our analysis.
This is true.
And it's doing that right now as we talk. Yeah. But we just let the charts do what the charts do. Well, I will give my last one.
Right.
My last one does not have to do with stocks or crypto. It has to do with starting a business. If you ever go on a business venture, always have a partnership agreement. I don't care if it's your brother or your sister or your papa or your mama. Always do, because I spent several $100,000 on this startup called Green Africa Airways, and my partner effed me over out of a lot of money. I'm still dealing with the legal case right now. I don't like talking about it, but another way to get your money working for you is to go into business. But if you go into business, get your agreements taken care of, and make sure you go to business with somebody that is trusted.
This is true.
So yeah, that's my last one.
I think, and again, the whole point is about just learning about losses, and that's the whole point of this. We're sharing our losses with everyone, because I don't ever want to be in this position where I've told you this before. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because if you're the smartest person in the room, then there's nowhere else to go. So it's just putting it out there, man. Just transparency. So for anyone else who can relate, it is what it is. You're going to come across losses, but do not let that affect you negatively for too long. You have to bounce back. You have to keep pushing. And even like you were saying there with the airways, man, I think just being able to still recover from that and keep pushing is incredible. For me, I told you about how I started my gym business, man. The guys I went into business with, well, there was one of them that I had known him for like a little while, but the guys I went into business with, I literally met these guys for a day. And I went into business with them, and I got extremely lucky there, just because they just happened to be good guys. But like you said, you have to go into business with people that you trust. That's a big one.
Yeah, because if you give up, you will not have moments like this.
Yes,
with
exactly.
Dogecoin.
And definitely going into business is a great way to also keep making your money work for you, right? The stock market. For me, I think we're aiming for other sources of income, to grow other sources of income, so we can use that to reinvest in crypto and the stock market and things like that. But that's it for me, man. Any final thoughts?
Well, if you have comments as well and you want to discuss and laugh about your big losses, definitely share, comment. We'll look forward to hearing from you. But thanks for watching.
Thank you. Until next time. Doge to the moon. Peace.